Hello and welcome to the video AWS Elastic Beanstalk deploy a sample Java application. With me Nam Hà Minh at CodeJava.net. In this video, I'd love to share with you the steps to deploy a sample Java application using Elastic Beanstalk Web Console with the following main steps. Create a new application, configure service access, deploy the application, access the newly deployed application, check the AWS related services, terminate environment, and undeploy the application. Note that using Elastic Beanstalk is free, but you will have to pay AWS resources used by the applications, such as EC2, S3, RDB. Before following this video, I suppose that you meet the following prerequisites. You have an AWS account, which is the root user. You have an IAM user that has administrative access. And note that you must have a valid credit or debit card to sign up, and you will be charged 1 or 2 USD for account verification. I recommend you check the video how to create AWS account on my YouTube channel at this URL to know how to create and sign up for an AWS account. And for creating IAM users, I recommend you check my video how to create IAM users on my YouTube channel at this URL. And I think it's important to understand some Elastic Beanstalk key concepts for beginners. Elastic Beanstalk is a service for deploying and scaling web applications and services on AWS Cloud. Developers can quickly launch applications on AWS Cloud without the complexity of provisioning and managing underlying infrastructure. Application is a logical collection of environments, versions, and environment configurations. Version is a specific labeled iteration of deployable code for an application. Environment is a collection of resources running an application version. Environment configuration is a collection of parameters and settings that define how an environment and its associated resource behave. An application can have many versions, and each version is unique, and each environment runs only one application version at a time. You can run the same application version or different application versions in many environments simultaneously. Now let's sign into the AWS Management Web Console. So in the web browser, head over to aws.amazon.com and click sign into the console button here. And enter your account ID and an IAM username that has administrative access and password. Sign in. You see, I have signed in as an IAM user into the AWS Management Console. This is the console home, and you can see the recently visited services here. Elastic Beanstalk, S3, EC2, RDS, and so on. And go to Elastic Beanstalk Management Console, go to Services, Compute, and you can see the menu Elastic Beanstalk here. This is the Elastic Beanstalk Management Console home, and click the Create Application button here. You see, there are 6 steps to deploy an application using Elastic Beanstalk. You can see, but there are only 2 steps are required. Step 1 and step 2. The optional steps are step 3, step 4, step 5, and the last step is for review information. So in the environment tier, choose the web server environment tier to run the website web application. The worker environment tier is for running background process, and enter the application name. for example, my sample Java app, and it automatically suggests the associated environment name is my sample Java dash and you can specify subdomain of the application. You see the main domain is Elastic Beanstalk, and your application will be accessed via this URL. So I enter the subdomain name is my sample Java app .us is to .elasticbeanstalk.com and click the button check availability, and you see this domain is available, and when deployment successful, you can access the application via this URL. Okay, you can enter environment description if you want, and then in the platform section, the before platform type is managed platform. Here choose Java, and you can see by default it automatically suggests the platform branch is Creator 17 running on 64-bit Amazon Linux 2023. Creator is the name of the JDK distribution made by Amazon, and platform version 4.0.1 recommended. And under the application code section here, keep the default sample application, and under the preset section here, keep the default single instance for free tier. Okay, and click next. And the second step is to configure service access. This here a very important step. Configure service access that decides whether the deployment is successful or not. So pay attention to this step. You must manually create a new role for EC2 instance if not exist that has the following policies: AWS Elastic Beanstalk Web Tier, AWS Elastic Beanstalk Worker Tier, and AWS Elastic Beanstalk Multi-Container Docker, and let Elastic Beanstalk create a new service role. So in this page, configure service access, choose create and use new service role if it does not exist. So the default name is, you can see here, AWS Elastic Beanstalk service role. Okay, and then for EC2 instance profile, you must manually create a new role. So go to services, security, identity, and compliance here, and go to IAM, open in a new tab. This is a management console of IAM, or identity and access management. Okay, and click roles here, and click create role button here. Choose AWS service, and for use case choose EC2. Okay, EC2, and click next. And here under the add permissions section here, search for AWS Elastic Beanstalk and choose three policies: Elastic Beanstalk Worker Tier, Web Tier, and Multi-Container Docker. Okay, click next, and enter the role name. The role name Elastic Beanstalk EC2 role. Okay, and click to the button create role here. Okay, the new role Elastic Beanstalk EC2 role created. You can see the new role here. it has three permissions or policies. You see here, AWS Elastic Beanstalk multi-container Docker, Elastic Beanstalk worker tier. So sorry, this is not correct. So delete, remove the row, and search for AWS Elastic. Permission here. Attach policy. AWS Elastic Beanstalk worker tier here. Add permission. Okay, updated. So note that the three policies required for this row is AWS Elastic Beanstalk multi-container Docker, AWS Elastic Beanstalk web tier, and AWS Elastic Beanstalk worker tier, as you can see here. Okay, then we can close this tab and come back to the configure service access page and click the refresh button here and choose the new row here, Elastic Beanstalk EC2 row, and click next to see the next step. But for now, for sample application, we just skip to the review page here. Okay, so this page lets you review all the information, environment information. You can see configure service access, set up networking, database, and tags. Step 4, configure instance, traffic, and scaling. So you can see it allows you to configure various settings of the deployment process if you wish to. Step 5, configure updates, monitoring, and logging. And you can see the section environment properties by default for Java application here, M2 home for Maven, okay. So just skip and click submit to start the deployment process. Okay, you see it says Elastic Beanstalk is launching the environment. This will take a few minutes, and you can see in the events tab here, it displays the information, the logging information, events of the environment. You can see currently the health status is unknown, banding the domain of the application, environment ID, application name, platform, Correcto 17. Okay, just wait a few minutes for the deployment to complete. And on the left side, you can see the menu applications to access the applications deployed on Elastic Beanstalk environments. And under the application name My Sample Java App, you can see application versions. Yeah. You can see the information under the events tab is updated. You see it has created the IP, created security group, waiting for EC2 instances to launch. You can also check information about how logs, monitoring, managed updates, and much more. Once the application is up and running on Elastic Beanstalk, you can see instance deployment completed successfully. Okay, now you see the green successful message environment successfully launched. That means we have successfully deployed our first Java application on Elastic Beanstalk. You can see the last message is successfully launched environment, and then the environment name my sample Java dash and you can see, and application available at this URL. You see, that means we can test the newly deployed application at this URL, or you can click the link in the domain line here under environment overview. So let me click here. Here we go. This is the home page of the newly deployed Java application on Elastic Beanstalk. You can see the domain name here, my sample Java app.us is 2. You can see this is a custom domain we specify in the first step, and then this is the region we choose US East, and then elasticbeanstalk.com. This is a very simple HTML page. It has a couple of links referring to AWS documentation. So nothing special. Okay, and then back to the environment page, you can see the health status is okay. Alright, now on the left menu, click applications, and you can see there's only one application deployed now, my sample Java app, and the environment is my sample Java dash in here, and click the application name, and you can see the application version here. For now, no specific version now. Okay, you can explore the environment here, environment and application. So you can manage your applications on Elastic Beanstalk by applications or by environments. And you know, when an application is deployed on Elastic Beanstalk, it uses several resources on AWS. Let me check. The first one is the virtual server. So check in services compute EC2. This is a console of EC2, dashboard of EC2 or Elastic Compute Cloud, and you can see now there's one instance running, one virtual server instance running for the application for this environment. Instance ID, status running, instance type t3.micro. Okay, and the next service we can check is IAM here. IAM. You can see the new rows created here. AWS Elastic Beanstalk service row. This row was automatically created by Elastic Beanstalk during the deployment process. And this row, Elastic Beanstalk EC2 row, we manually created before. Okay, and the next service you can check is S3 storage service. Under storage, let me check storage here and S3. And by default, the application's deployment artifact or application deployment file is stored in a new bucket on Amazon S3. You can see the new bucket, Elastic Beanstalk US East, and then the account ID. And you can see the newly uploaded file is here, my sample java app.jar. So that means every upload of the application is stored in this bucket name. So those are the three AWS services which used by the application. Okay, now back to Elastic Beanstalk and click environment name and see the status. How status is okay. You can explore the health status, logs, monitoring here. You can terminate an environment of an application to stop a running version. So here in Elastic Beanstalk, here click environments and choose the environment name you wish to terminate and click the action button and click terminate environment, and you see a confirmation environment termination warning. Enter the name of the environment to be terminated. My sample java app dash and click terminate button. Okay, and it may take a few minutes to an environment to be terminated. Click here, and you can see the logging information waiting for EC2 instances to terminate. This may take a few minutes. You see Elastic Beanstalk is terminating the environment. Note that the application can have multiple versions, and each version can be running in an environment. And you can see the health status is now bending. It is about to be terminated. Stop running. Now if I click the domain name here, I should got an error because the environment is being terminated. Now you see the environment successfully terminated and the health status is unknown. You can see the message is here. Removed instance ID from the environment, deleted IP, deleted security group, and you can see we cannot access the application via this URL here anymore because it was stopped. And now if we go to applications, go to environment, and you can see the associated environment for this application is terminated. As you can see here, it is terminated environments. You can also check the status terminated here. And when an application is no longer needed, you can delete it from Elastic Beanstalk or undeploy it. So in Elastic Beanstalk management console, go to applications. Here, check the application you want to delete. Click actions and click delete application. Note that deleting an application will also terminate the associated environments. Here it warns that if you proceed this with this action, the following environments will be terminated. Enter the name of the application to confirm deletion. My sample Java app and click delete button to undeploy the application remove it from Elastic Beanstalk. You see the message is my sample Java application is being deleted, and it may take a few minutes to remove the application from Elastic Beanstalk. So far you have learned how to deploy a sample Java application on Elastic Beanstalk. I hope you found this video helpful for getting started with Elastic Beanstalk. Note that the important step is configure service access. You must manually create a new role for EC2 instance that has the following policies: AWS Elastic Beanstalk Web Tier, AWS Elastic Beanstalk Worker Tier, and AWS Elastic Beanstalk Multi-Container Docker, and let Elastic Beanstalk create a new service role. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and share this video. Thanks for watching.